This morning, President Trump is preparing to meet with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy and other European leaders at the White House. Now, it comes as President Trump continues putting pressure on Zelenskyy to negotiate, writing on social media that Zelenskyy can end the war with Russia almost immediately if he wants to, or he can continue to fight. And Zelenskyy responding overnight, writing, quote, "Russia must end this war, which it itself started. And I hope that our joint strength with America and our European friends will force Russia into a real peace."
You can't have a peace agreement unless both sides make concessions. If not, it's just called surrender, and neither side is going to surrender.
The British Prime Minister, French President, and German Chancellor are all among the European and NATO leaders joining Ukraine's president as he meets with President Trump. The meeting comes following President Trump's summit with Russian President Putin on Friday, which led to no agreement.
And Russian President Vladimir Putin convened top Russian officials at the Kremlin Saturday to brief them on his meeting with Trump. Putin describes the summit as, quote, timely and very useful. Here he is speaking through a translator.
I would like to note right away that the visit was timely and very useful. We discussed practically all areas of our cooperation, but first and foremost, of course, we talked about a possible resolution of the Ukrainian crisis on a fair basis.
Now, Putin goes on to say that he talked to Trump about the, quote, root causes of the war and further touched on plans to create settlements in Ukraine. Putin's visit to Alaska was the first to the United States in 10 years and his first to a Western country since invading Ukraine in 2022. The meeting, which also included Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, lasted roughly 3 hours.
And President Trump believes a deal to end Russia's war in Ukraine is at hand following his summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin. President Trump told Fox News that the rest is up to Ukraine.
I can tell you, the meeting was a very warm meeting. You know, he's a strong guy, he's tough as hell and all of that. But the meeting was a very warm meeting between two very important countries, and it's very good when they get along. I think we're pretty close to a deal. Now, look, Ukraine has to agree to it. Maybe they'll say no.
Now, President Trump did not go into detail about what a peace deal would look like. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has been vocal in his opposition to any agreement that involves Ukraine giving up land to Russia. On social media Saturday, Trump called on Russia and Ukraine to forego a ceasefire and issue a direct peace agreement instead. He claims Zelenskyy has already agreed.